Hi, Gloria Day families. Hi, seventh graders. My name is Katie LeClaire. I'm the Director of Youth and Family Faith Formation at Gloria Day. I've been serving the church here since 2013. I can confidently say it's going to be another weird year of ministry. It's going to be good. God's blessings are on us, especially when we gather together and step out in faith and take some risks. So I'm glad you're going on the journey with us. Try to share as much information as I can about how the ministry will operate this year. We need all of us to get in it, try our best, participate as we're able, and stay as healthy as we can. Well, I said I've been serving here since 2013. I've been serving in youth ministry since I was a teenager. We used to have Bible studies at my house in my basement when I was in high school. My graduating class was 99 people, so a lot smaller than most of your schools. I grew up in northeastern Wisconsin, south of Green Bay. Go Packers! Now I live in South Minneapolis with my partner, Kelly, who's the director of Children's Youth and Family over at Edina Community Lutheran Church. And we have two puppies, Romeo and Baxter, and it's very lovely. Well, we have been praying for you this year, the staff, the pastors, and I, and it's really important that you know we have an open door. So if at any time this year, even as we just get started, there's too much on your plate, or you have questions, or you just need someone to talk to, we have our parish nurse, Jill, Children's Youth Ministry Director, Kirsten Schwartz, all the pastors, myself, Tim and Paul. Anybody would love to visit with you, even if you just need someone to talk to. But especially if you run into issues or you have questions, just don't feel like you're getting connected properly, we have a way to make a solution for you. So there's ways to get you involved and minister to you as needed. You're going to get the most out of confirmation when you plug in and get involved. But if it's too much, especially in the middle of a global pandemic, let's talk. Okay, don't disconnect yourself without letting us know that you need some extra stuff. All right. Just going to give you an overview tonight. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to reach out to us. Confirmation is part of the ministry of faith formation at Gloria Day. We strive to meet people where you are by providing sustained opportunities to discover connections between God's story and their own stories within the context of various communities. So it doesn't matter if you're serving in the giving garden, if you're packing backpacks, if you're a communion assistant, we want to work together to connect the story of God, redemption, new birth, eternal life to our everyday stuff like washing dishes and taking out the garbage and studying our Bibles. We meet on Wednesday nights at 6:30 to 7:30 in the fellowship hall. That's where we're going to start every week. Even this year, when the sanctuary on the main level becomes a construction zone, we are going to begin in the fellowship hall. That is our plan. Part of the fellowship hall will be impacted by the construction because they have to do foundation work. Well, we can show you more about that as we're able. It's taking out the lower kitchen because they have to dig way down deep below, even where the surface or where the basement ends in the church and stuff like that. So the formerly named colonial room, which is now going to be called the Mississippi room, that's not in use anymore after construction starts in October. But our plan is just get you to the fellowship hall. We're going to try to seat apart this year. There won't be tables. There'll be chairs set up or on a rack for you to position yourself where needed. And we'll have a large group teaching time, maybe about 15, 20 minutes with myself or one of the pastors giving you like the main idea of what we're discussing. And then we'll break out into probably about 2 groups per grade. That's our goal, in different areas that are, again, larger rooms like the nursery or the gym or the gallery. Some people stay in the fellowship hall, maybe in the gathering place, or 100 or 109 or the formerly named youth center. Now it's going to be called the Minnesota room. Different larger rooms so that you have enough area to move apart from one another. But we normally have about 4 small groups per grade. And it just didn't work out this year. We don't have enough adult leaders to pull that off at this point because we need 2 leaders per group. But I think we're going to be okay. If you're a parent who could help even once a month or something, please let me know, because that's going to, it will help to have smaller groups. But our class sizes, if everybody came on a given night, usually around 20 to 25 teenagers. So it's rare that everybody always comes. And of course, if you're sick or experiencing COVID symptoms or have been exposed, you're not going to be here. So we'll see how it goes. But that's our plan. And we don't stay past 7:30. We're out of here. There's a handout available as a download to you that talks about our core youth ministry values that goes way back before I began serving here, but to worship, learn, grow, play, and serve. And we think we'll have a lot of these elements almost every week between Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings. And you can let me know if you think we're too heavy on one and too light on the other. We'll do some adjusting. The aim of confirmation ministry is to affirm our baptism. And you were asked on your registration form if you've been baptized. Most of us have, a few of us haven't. A few of us haven't had our first communion yet. This is the time to experience all those things. So hopefully if you need to schedule a meeting with one of the pastors so we can affirm your baptism, it has to happen first. So that's awesome. Inside of the hymnal, if you ever look in the pages before all the songs, there's a whole bunch of information. And this is one of the actual liturgies of a service of affirmation of baptism. So when you're a 10th grader, the language of that service at the end of your 10th grade year looks something like this, that you're going to be making promises to affirm your baptism, where it says, I do, and I ask God to help and guide me, live among God's faithful people, hear the word of God and share the Lord's Supper, proclaim the good news, serve all people, strive for justice and peace, stuff like that. So when we talk about affirmation of baptism or confirming our faith, this is what we're talking about. These promises that your parents and sponsors made for you or with you when you were probably a baby are something you get to claim for yourself. It's a significant step in becoming a fully participating member of the church. It's a milestone event. Confirmation is the prep to help you understand what that is, helps define the beliefs and practices as members in the church. You're already a member. If you've been baptized, you are a member of Christ Church, the body of Christ. This doesn't make you any more of a Christian. It just helps define what that means in your life. So it's a time for exploration. We talk about God and God stuff, Lutheran identity. It's about arriving at some answers, learning to think critically about them. Time for you to claim a creed, begin to belong to a community, begin to pursue a calling, and we do this all together. It's not supposed to be an individual, private, secret thing. We want to do this as a body. That's why we love to involve extra adults, not just parents, but grandparents, single adults that are worshiping at the church, even high school students who have already been confirmed. It's important that we all do this together and remind ourselves of these promises. So these opinions about Lutheranism, these opinions about the Bible and God and Christianity will change throughout your life. I have different opinions about the Holy Spirit and God and Jesus and stuff than I did when I was 17 years old, meeting in a Bible study in my basement. But I have been affirmed in my faith through the church, all different churches. And confirmation is really about relationships with Jesus and other people in our church. So though we do provide the content you need, if you have to miss a week, for example, you're going to get information. There's Bible studies, there's stuff to look up and wonder about and question, but we really want it to be about relationships with other people. So it's really important that when you're coming here on Wednesday nights, that you're making those connections. And you know what? Some students come here, and because we come from over 30 schools, I think there's 35 schools represented so far on September 13th, as far as our registration goes. That means there's probably only 1 or 2 other students from your school here. It's really important for me that we do something each week that connects us and helps us be friends with other people. So if you're coming here and it's October and November and you still feel like you have 0 friends, I want to know about that, because there's ways we can keep building friendships. It's really important. There is stuff to learn though. How do we prep you for your affirmation of baptism? We have the little book, the Luther Small Catechism. You may have already seen this at some point, maybe in Gap, but it's a little book. I should have brought one with me, but it's kind of pictured there a little bit. And in it describes the Lutheran identity and Lutheran faith. So over and over, the question in that book is, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this part mean? That's why we do confirmation. It's a 4-year cycle of lessons. We talk about sacraments, baptism and communion, and like I said, the little book. So that's the Lord's Prayer, the Apostles' Creed, the 10 Commandments. And then when we get into high school, we start talking about other religions, Buddhism, Islam. We meet with our Jewish neighbors over at Mount Zion Temple. And we also explore all the paradoxes of Lutherans' legacy and the Reformation. So saint and sinner, bound and free, now and not yet, those kind of things. This year, the 7th and 8th graders are going to be talking about the small catechism. So I can say when I go back to this slide, these are for all 4 years, but we rotate within 7th and 8th grade, switch between unit 1 and 2. So next year, if you're a 7th grader this year, you'll be studying through the Bible. It's easier to see it on paper. There's a handout in the Google Drive I'm sending you. You're going to need your own Bible. Certainly feel free to take one of the Bibles off the cart here at church if you don't have one, but there's lots of different types of Bibles in Christian world. It's helpful if you bring an actual book Bible with you on Wednesday nights. Most students will have that. I have a list in your Google Drive folder of different ones that we've recommended over the years. It doesn't really matter to me which version of the Bible you are using, because if we have different Bible versions when we're reading together on Wednesday nights, we might hear a different flavor of a verse or something. You can certainly bring an app. The YouVersion Bible app is good because it has like all of them, even like Spanish and whatnot. You might be in a part of the building though if you don't have a data plan where there's not great Wi-Fi. So bring a book Bible if you have it. It's good to get used to using that. But we have a list of Bibles that you should consider, and just grab one here if you don't have one or can't afford one. Typically, when it's not COVID, we have a retreat every single year for each grade, and we didn't get to do that last year. And some of the classes that are a little bit older didn't even get to do one in 2019 for a lot of weird reasons, but this year we're just doing one combined winter retreat for 7th and 8th grade at Camp Courage. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one night that's going to be focused on the human sexuality stuff that normally would just be for 7th grade because our current 8th graders didn't get to do a retreat last year. And then we're going to do some serving options on Saturday, stuff like the poverty simulation from the United Council of Churches in Minneapolis. So we'll be staying at Camp Courage. This is our plan. I don't know. I'm hoping that we have a handle on COVID safety protocols, that this works out, but we don't have the registration open for that yet, but it'll usually be about $150 and scholarships are definitely available. People always want to know what's required. What do I have to do to be confirmed? Maybe your parents grew up in a situation where they had to memorize a bunch of stuff, or they had to be interviewed by the church council or stand up in front of the church and say these things. Well, we're not trying to put pressure or embarrass anybody, but we want to frame the question more than what's required is how can my family invest the most to get the biggest return out of this ministry year together? So instead of thinking about requirements, which we really don't have, we want to talk about investing. So we're going to ask you to participate, attend as you're able if you're healthy on Wednesday nights. There'll be opportunities for service projects. Like I said, bring your Bible, learn your leader's name. You're not going to have as many leaders this year, so that should be an easy task. If you want to ask to bring snacks or just participate, answer questions when it's your turn. Come to worship on Sundays. Try to get here early, sit by someone new, learn their names, sit 3 to 6 feet apart. We're going to be in the gathering place starting in October because the sanctuary is going to be under construction. It'll look really different. It'll be really fun, something new to experience. Bring your own Bible, look up all the texts, sing, discuss your favorite hymn of the day on the way home. Be available as a sub. We're going to talk about acolytes and ushers in a little bit. go to all the things, sign up for events this year. There's less events because of COVID, but typically in the summers, there's a summer trip where we do some service learning. If you're an 8th grader this year, it's the National Youth Gathering in the end of July. You can always bring friends with you and try to make some new friends. Okay, this is really important. Thinking. Listen during large group, come up with good questions, stump your leaders, stump your parents, stump your pastors. I'm hard to stump, but you can try. Write down what you're wondering about and pray through all the hard stuff. Really important. Parents, we need you too. We really need extra help this year. If you're able, even just on a regular Wednesday, to come help, it would be so incredibly fantastic. If you haven't considered serving before, I could have you lead a group that doesn't have your child in it, if that is a block. Your faith will grow too. But if you're too busy, or if it's just puts you over the top, please feel free to hear the grace and that you don't have to serve this year. Offer to plan serving night. We'll talk about service projects in a little bit. Bring in snacks. We don't have cashiers this year. I should have said that in the beginning. There are no Wednesday night suppers. Again, not only because of COVID and we'd have to take off our masks to eat and stuff like that. We're all wearing masks, by the way, when we're in the building this year. It's just what we're going to do. It's not optional. And the mask goes over your nose. I have a whole song about it. There's no cashiers usually on a non-COVID year. We have a Wednesday night supper. Can't do that this year anyways, because the lower kitchen, like I said, is impacted by the construction. So you don't have to be a cashier. But you could have other things going on at your house, or a sledding party, get to know the other parents. And then, of course, a great way to stay involved is to connect. We have a Flickr. We have a Twitter. We have our little website on the church page, and our Facebook group is probably the most active for parents and some teenagers. And of course, save us as a safe person in your email, because we're usually in your promotions or social folder if you're a Gmail user. You can connect through your text messaging. Text at GDL to 81010. We use the remind text service. I don't send a lot of reminders, maybe once a week, if there's some deadlines coming up or something like that. But it's really important if you're able to just go ahead and get signed up for that. It's a one-click on just unsubscribe too. I said I'd mention a little bit about acolyting, usher greeting, communion servers, or Sunday school helpers. We are busy on Sunday mornings, but we don't have any formal like youth group stuff. We don't have confirmation available, and there's no teen Sunday school. Typically in the past, it's because we're busy serving in these other areas, and teenagers are very, very welcome to go to the adult forum or Sunday forum, whatever they're calling it. But we do have an app called Ministry Scheduler, and you should get that app because you will be scheduled as an acolyte, an usher greeter, or communion server, unless you opted into another ministry area, such as teaching Sunday school, helping with backpacks on Wednesday nights. There's a few other, but most everybody's an acolyte or another server this year. And when you're signed up to do that, you should be here at least 15 minutes early to check in with whoever your captain is. And it's going to be really important this year because October through May, we're going to be in the gathering place and everything's going to be different. So we need your help. It's a great way to grow your faith. And if you're a parent and have never been a communion server or an usher or something, we really would love for you to be added to the team. We have a lot of ministry leaders from years past that have served for decades, that have stepped down or are staying home because of COVID and stuff like that. So if you're able to be here, we'd love to get you working with that ministry. And we can craft those experiences so that they're safe and that you feel comfortable. If you have any questions, we'd love for you to let us know. And in a few minutes, I'll be able to play some videos of some graduates that wanted to say hello to you. We recorded some greetings from them last year for the 2020 orientation video, so we'll watch that now. I am looking at our calendar. You should have a copy of this, and I just want to orient you. I could have done a screen share, I guess, but the regular Wednesday nights, the thing that is 6:30 to 7:30 are just these green nights. So when you look at it, it's doable. It really is doable. There's a yellow night that happens twice. It's November 17th and February 23rd. When you look at that, we haven't determined exactly what we're doing. Usually when we're meeting in small groups of like 8 teenagers, your group leaders help you plan a service project like raking leaves or tying fleece blankets or stuff like that. I'm not quite sure what we're doing this year, but in the past, one of our big group experiences for serving has been going to Every Meal in Roseville. It used to be called Sheridan Story. Probably try to do that again in February. One year it was big blizzard, but we still went. It's pretty fun. The red dates happen a lot on here, so just a heads up about what those nights look like. There's not a confirmation time in December or in December. For Advent, we all just come here for, not just, we all come here for worship. It's Vespers for about a half hour, we call it, just an evening prayer service. So there's no confirmation like large group, small group on those nights. And then during Lent, you'll see in March, Ash Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. So there's no like confirmation, large group, small group then, but we have a unit on tough questions for those 5 weeks. And that's for a half hour. Now we go to church together for a half hour. So we're still 6:30 to 7:30, but the night looks a little bit different. So again, if you were considering being a group leader or helping your class as an adult, those green nights are the nights we would need you. And there's not that many of them. It's pretty easy. We'll be talking more about the national gathering for 8th graders. It's at the end of July. You'll see blue dates there. But for 7th grade, unfortunately, no matter how many times youth directors have asked, they are just limiting that to students completing 8th through 12th grade. So in 3 years, you will get to go. I think 3, maybe they're going in 2 years. But if you have older siblings, we'll be talking about that. Lots of other things to get involved with, but mostly I just want you to get started this year. We're going to see you on the 22nd. On that night, we were going to do a whole bunch of other things, but we're just diving right in this year. On the 22nd, come here at 6:30, be in the fellowship hall. You can come a little bit early. That'd be great. Wear your mask over your nose. And we're going to meet each other and start right away on our lessons. And then at the end of October, we'll do some skills training and stuff like that. I'll give more information to you. I think you're fantastic and awesome. I can't wait to meet you and meet with you. If there's anything I could do, be praying for you, let me know. And right now, here's some videos from graduates from the program that wanted to say hi to you and welcome you too. Take care.
Hello, 7th graders. Welcome to confirmation. My name is Ellie. I was confirmed 6 years ago, and I remember thinking that 4 years was a really crazy long time for confirmation, but in the end, in retrospect, I'm very glad that it was 4 years because 8th grade me and 10th grade me were very, very different, and I got a lot more out of it my freshman and sophomore year than I did my 7th and 8th grade year, just because we were starting to grow and change as people and within our faith, within our small groups. And I think that was my favorite part, was growing with other people my age in church, but also outside of church, because my group had dinner together before confirmation every Wednesday, so you have that to look forward to when we're all back in person. But I'm really excited for all of you to go on this journey together. Just be there for each other, check in on each other, and have fun.
Hey 7th graders, I'm Nathan. I graduated high school this year and I was just starting confirmation when I was your age too. I just wanted to say that you guys are going to have so much fun over these next 4 years in confirmation. It is a time to both explore your faith and get to know other people your age at church even better. You'll have so many interesting and amazing conversations with your small groups, mentors, and pastors. And on top of that, you'll have so many opportunities to have fun and go on retreats and lock-ins and make friends and all of that fun social stuff too. Good luck. I hope it'll be a great experience for all of you. Bye-bye.
Hi 7th graders, welcome to confirmation. My name is Britt Fulton. This year I'm a freshman at Lutheran College. I always really looked forward to confirmation because it's just a great community of people from your small group to your mentor in 9th and 10th grade, and the retreats are super fun to go on. And every Wednesday night, I'd really look forward to seeing my small group because we were super close, and it's just like fun people, but also people who will be there for you.
Hi, welcome to confirmation. My name is Andrew Ali. I just finished up confirmation. I'm going to be a junior at Highland Park Senior High. But it feels like I was just in 7th grade, just starting confirmation, so it kind of flies by. One thing that I really liked about confirmation was getting to know the people in my group. Some of them went to my school, which was really great because I got to see them outside of school and kind of get to interact with them outside of a school setting. And for people that weren't in my school, it was great to get to know them and to be able to see them at all because I never saw them in school. So it's a really cool experience. It goes by a lot faster than you think. It's just an hour every Wednesday for a couple months a year. So it's not like as time consuming as you think. But have a lot of fun and it's awesome. Enjoy it.
Hi, 7th graders. My name is Emma Goulet, and I'm a sophomore at Lutheran College. One of my favorite things of confirmation was the bonds that you make with your small group, with the adults, and the other people in your group, and the other people in your confirmation class. I still have a lot of close friendships with the people that were in my class and the adults that helped me throughout my journey in confirmation. I also loved the mission trips. It's a great way to experience new things and grow closer with the people around you. And one thing you can look forward to is just having a community that will stand by you and support you, and to know that you have a bunch of people that are there for you and will be there for you even after the 4 years that you are confirmed. Have fun.